Hey guys, it's Miss Shar again, here with your final reading lesson for the week. And today we are going to talk about flashbacks. They are a skill or a strategy that authors use in books all the time, and we're going to dig a little deeper into what a flashback is and why authors would use them. Let's start off by thinking to yourself, what is a flashback? I guarantee you've heard of a flashback, and I know for sure you have seen a flashback either in a movie or have experienced it in some book that you have read. So, a flashback is a technique used by the author to take a reader back in time to explain an event. And I guarantee you, if we were in class right now and your teacher asked you to raise your hand and share an example of a flashback, you could think of a ton of movies. As I was preparing for this lesson today, I kind of went through some clips, and Inside Out has flashbacks. Toy Story has a flashback. Trolls has a flashback. It's when there's the plot of a book or a movie, the events of a book or a movie all of a sudden go back in time to help explain something that is currently happening. So, if you look at the pink box with me, it says flashbacks. They start in the present, meaning when the story is taking place, and it goes back into the past. And then it returns to the present. So it gives you this brief glimpse into what's happening with the character, or why the character is feeling some way or another, or why this event is happening. Flashbacks happen all the time, and they're a great technique that authors use to give us as readers better understanding of a character or an event. I am going to model this again with our read aloud. Sorry, the glare is kind of funny. Scarlet Stocking Spy. I don't know if you caught on to it, but there's actually a flashback in this book. And I'm going to read the part to you, and we're going to kind of dissect it a little bit. So this is towards the middle of the book when we're getting introduced to Maddie and who her brother is. So here's the picture for you. Here's Maddie, and that up there is her brother. So listen carefully and see if you can kind of figure out what the flashback is. She lined her clothesline up perfectly with the harbor, just like when she and Jonathan used to play harbor master. Jonathan pretended to be the harbor master, cupping his hands like a spyglass, barking out docking and departing orders from the upper window. Maddie Rose scrambled below, playing the harbor master's assistant, arranging cobblestones, apples, and scraps of wood as though they were real ships. Jonathan always tricked her so there would be a collision. Then he'd make loud crashing and exploding sounds till they both laughed. It was only a game, but now things were different. The country was at war. So, what I just told you is that flashbacks start in the present of the book, where the book is taking place. They jump back, and then they come back to the present. This is a perfect example of that. The first sentence here, she lined her clothesline up perfectly with the harbor, just like with the harbor. If I flip back here in the book, this is how she gave her secret code, lining up her clothesline. That's happening currently in the book. And then it jumps it back. It says, just like when she and Jonathan used to play. We know that when someone says, I used to play it, you did it in the past. And it explains this game that they played. And then right here towards the end of the page, it says, it was only a game, but now. So it was hanging things on her clothesline. Oh, this fun game that my brother and I used to play, but now. But now things were different. The country was at war. So the author spent a whole page on a flashback. And I'm thinking the whole story has to do with the relationship between Maddie Rose and her brother. And what this page is teaching me is what their relationship was like. And it helps us tie into her really understanding how to do the secret messages and look at the different boats on the harbor, because without playing this game with her brother back in the day, she might not understand how to do this, or might not have been able to do this. So as you can see, flashbacks can come pretty quickly, but be pretty short. I mean, that's a little glimpse into a really, really, really lengthy book, but it gives us so much detail into characters' lives. It can give us details as to why certain things happen, why characters act the way they do, maybe why characters are having conflict with other characters, and they're just a powerful technique that authors can use. So I want you, like I said, you've probably come across them before, but as you read, be alert for them because those flashbacks are in there for a reason. The author wanted to explain to us how she understood the harbor and the relationship between the brother and the sister. So your job today is you are actually going to re-listen to chapter 2 of Toliver's Secret. And we want you guys to see if you can identify the flashback that the author used in Toliver's Secret. And think about, what was the flashback? And why did the author include that in the story? What does it add to the events that are currently happening in the story?